From WFRV TV Local 5, your local election headquarters. This is Newsmaker Sunday with your host, Tom Zalaski.
Good morning. Welcome to Newsmaker Sunday. I'm Tom Zalaski. Today we take a look at the 8th District Congressional election. Democrat State Representative Amanda Stuck faces incumbent Republican Mike Gallagher on November 3rd. And today we talk with Amanda Stuck. She currently serves in the Wisconsin State Assembly, representing the 57th District, which covers a portion of the Fox Valley. She was a rural mail carrier, worked with the Appleton Housing Authority. She was also an aide to former Congressman Steve Kagan. And we're glad to welcome Amanda Stuck to the program once again. This is, I believe, your 4th time with us.
I think so. Yes. I mean, this is where it all began, though, on this race,
right.
With the announcement here.
Right.
So.
You were here as a member of the Assembly. Yeah. Then you made your congressional announcement here. You're here today for this appearance, and then we have to remember you were our celebrity sportscaster. Yes. So this is your 4th appearance here. I want to go back to, I'm sure you've answered this 100 times, but I got to ask for our viewers, why did you decide to get into this race?
Well, that's a question that I ask myself all the time. But really what it came down to was I had received a letter from a constituent named Len, and he had written about his wife's breast cancer and about how he doesn't know what they're going to do if the Affordable Care Act goes away. Because with a pre-existing condition like breast cancer, they know either insurance will be unaffordable or they won't be able to get it at all. So he had written to me as his state representative, and he had written to Mike Gallagher as his congressman. When I called him as his state representative after getting that letter, he said, you know, I've heard from you, but I never heard a word back from Mike Gallagher. And I really found it unacceptable that a congressman couldn't call their constituent back after getting a letter like that they wouldn't respond and explain why they voted to take health care away or to put people like that in a position where they have to feel like they won't be able to get health care. And so that was really what prompted me to run, was that letter.
Mm-hmm. There's one area you differ. What are some of the other areas that you and Mr. Gallagher differ?
So I think pretty much on every single policy issue we differ, whether it's health care, whether it's how to make sure that people in the middle class have jobs that pay a living wage, whether it's environmental issues. You know, I have a 100% voting record with the League of Conservation Voters. Mike Gallagher only has a 5% voting record. So on pretty much every single issue, we disagree. And I think it's really about how we approach the job. You know, Mike Gallagher doesn't think he should be in his district really listening to people. He never really held public town halls while he has held this seat, where I have made it a priority to really be in my district every chance, not in Madison while I was in the Assembly, but in my district, and making sure I was showing up to my constituents, responding to them and listening to them.
Healthcare, big issue for you, especially on your website. You say everyone deserves affordable health care.
Yep.
Can anything really be done to get us to that goal?
Absolutely. So that's the wonderful thing about this issue, right, is that it is a really important issue, but there are so many great ideas out there that we have so many options to pick from that if we bring people to the table, we really can find a solution, whether it is a public option, whether it is some other option that we can look at. If we bring people to the table, you know, I've talked to Republicans, I've talked to Democrats, I've talked to people who don't even care about politics, and there are great ideas out there that if we really brought people together, we could fix this issue.
Pandemic has put millions of us out of work. How do we get those people back to work?
Yeah, so this is one of the things that this pandemic has highlighted, how fragile our system is and how we really need to have stronger infrastructure in our systems to make sure that when we face another pandemic, because this won't be the last one, that our businesses aren't so fragile that they can't make it through these, or that we don't have a plan in place to help businesses through this. So one of the main things we need to do is, first of all, make sure that there is a safety net. So look at our unemployment system that failed so many people here during this pandemic. Unemployment has been the #1 thing that we heard about throughout this because our system just wasn't ready to handle the influx that it got. And so we need to make sure that we do have infrastructure and systems to make sure people can get unemployment when we have pandemics like this come up and where there isn't an option, where businesses have to close temporarily. We need to make sure that is available to people. When we pass these assistance packages for businesses, we need to make sure it's targeted to small business. There's no reason sports teams and billionaires should be getting money. It should really be the small businesses that don't have a backup plan, that don't have the ability to get through it without some sort of assistance. So we need really targeted programs that can help businesses get through this. Now, we saw some of the package that was already passed did actually work. The problem was it just wasn't enough of it to go around. So we do have a model that works already. We just need to target it to the right people and expand it.
You have a personal issue on your website. You list the opioid crisis on the website, and there's a statement which reads, and I quote, "Amanda has felt the impact of the opioid crisis at home." What did you mean by that?
So I have a family member who struggles with opioid addiction, and certainly not just opioids, but there have been other family members of mine that have suffered with different kinds of addiction. And so I know how it really impacts families personally and how this touches so many other issues, whether it's employment, like we just talked about, businesses that suffer because they have a hard time finding people who can pass drug tests, or healthcare that can be a barrier to people getting the treatment and healthcare they need to get better, that this really impacts all of us, and it impacts every sector and every issue that a politician could be talking about. And from that personal experience, again, that's why I know how important healthcare is and how important it is to have somebody representing you that has those personal experiences to bring to the table and can be an advocate for those families dealing with that.
We are back with more with Amanda Stuck right after this, so please stay with us.